have more than one favorite saint. I admit that. But my absolute favorite saint would have to be Saint Mary Magdalene. And I'll tell you a backstory to that. I was a little Protestant girl, and I discovered Lives of the Saints. So I had read Saint Bernadette and a few others, Saint Joan of Arc. Then in my my junior high library, of all places, all right, it was a public school. I found this book called The Scarlet Lily, and it was just as schmaltzy as the title sounds, okay? But when I opened it up, it was about Saint Mary Magdalene. It was a novel, and it was a poorly written novel, but at 13 I didn't know the difference. So I fell in love with Saint Mary Magdalene, and I said to myself, this is what I want to do. I want to love Jesus the way she does, you know, passionately, wholeheartedly, completely, total. That girl is like total. If she was bad, it was total. If she was good, oh, yeah, she was incomparable. But anyhow, there was no book on Mary Magdalene. Nothing except that poorly written schmaltzy Scarlet Lily for years. And then recently I came across another book about Saint Mary Magdalene, which really is perfect. If y'all are looking for a perfect book on this incredible saint, this would be it. It was written by Father Sean Davidson. He was a priest that was assigned to her shrine in Marseille, France, where her bones are kept. It was called Saint Baume, and he would have, she's like one of the patron saints of France, but he had a lot of English-speaking pilgrims, and they would always ask, is there a good life of Saint Mary Magdalene? And he said, yes, there's incredible books on Saint Mary Magdalene. Unfortunately, they are all in French. And so he decided, for the sake of these poor English pilgrims that were coming, he would either translate one of the books or he would write one. And what he did was he wrote a book on the life of Saint Mary Magdalene, which is, I don't know how to explain it. It's the life of Saint Mary Magdalene, but it's also like a devotional. I mean, something that you could read in chapel, really, in front of the Blessed Sacrament. And in point of fact, the title is Saint Mary Magdalene, Prophetess of Eucharistic Love. This is the book. Okay, it's not a really big, huge book, but it's gold. That's all I can say. It's perfect, because she is like not just the patron saint of penitence. Everybody gets that, right? Because she, the Lord freed her from seven demons or whatever. She was oppressed by a lot of sins in her life, but she's also like the saint of the resurrection. Her life encompasses kind of the whole trajectory, I think, of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. All of us, I can say that, with pretty certain of this. All of us had a lot to convert from when we were called by Jesus. We had a lot of things to be forgiven. And so Saint Mary Magdalene is the model of penitence. Her repentance was so sincere and so total. And even Jesus defended her and said, she's forgiven much because she loved much. So she really is like the model for a sincere repentance and the start of a true conversion in your life. She's great for that. But also, when you see the whole arc of her life, she then followed Jesus, and that's in the gospel too. She followed him. There was a group of women that followed him, and his mother followed him as well. So she was also like in a relationship with the Blessed Mother, okay, as she followed Jesus. And her commitment was so complete, so total, that she stood next to the Blessed Mother beneath the cross of Jesus. And it was to her that the Lord appeared in the garden at the resurrection. She was the first to see Jesus. So she is just like, I don't know, she is the perfect model of what I'm aiming for personally. But I think what everybody should be aiming for, because it's not just we convert, but we then want to like live that conversion and follow the Lord. And we also want to be connected in a a really strong sense to his Blessed Mother, and we want to continue on to that. Then Jesus gives her the commission to then go to the apostles and tell them about the resurrection, which is why she is known as the apostle to the apostles. That's a really, I always thought that was really cool. So all of us can be an apostle in that sense, that we are then commissioned by Jesus to go and announce to others that he is alive, that he is living. And to this day, he is alive and living. So we too can be like Mary Magdalene. So that's, in a nutshell, that's why I love this saint, and I really like this book. And in case you didn't get a real good shot of it, this is the book. Please get yourself a copy. She is somebody that you can really imitate this woman, because she was, I don't know, she had hit the bottom like so many of us do, and yet the Lord raised her up to be an apostle to the apostles and to preach the gospel, something that each and every one of us is called to do. So that's my story, and this is my saint, and read this book.